All right, what's happening, everybody? Thank you so much for being here today. Really, really appreciate it. I'm going to spend some time today with you guys going through uh, some AI stuff that has really changed the game for myself. I've learned a lot. I've really poured into learning about these things that I'm going to share with you, and I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm going to walk us through like three different AI sources that I am using. Feel free to use the chat, by the way, if you want to ask questions. There's Q&A. You can answer questions, and I will be monitoring that as well. But I'm going to jump right in here just for the sake of time and share my screen and walk everyone through, what I'm using and what you can use to make certain tasks and communications like absolutely spectacular with your clients from a communication and influence standpoint. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're just going to hop right in. All right, awesome. So, what we're going to go through today is three different AIs specifically. There's millions of them out there, but these are the three that I am using the most and on a daily basis, and that I think are the easiest to implement with the highest amount of impact. So, the first one is Plaud AI. And Plaud is an incredible, incredible tool. I'll go deeper into it in a moment. The second's going to be ChatGPT, and everyone should be familiar with that at this point. But how you use ChatGPT is really where you get the most bang for your buck. It's not just like, oh, I'm using chat like to search like Google. It's figuring out like how to use the right prompts, create projects, and have amazing, amazing content that can be created for yourself. And then Manus AI. And Manus AI is something I'm using to create images, marketing, landing pages for clients. It's absolutely incredible. So let's just get started with an overview of, why AI is reshaping professionals and how they communicate. The shift really isn't about like replacing human beings at all. I want to be really clear on that. A lot of us are so frightened sometimes by AI. We think it's really scary, but it's really just augmenting like our efficiency and our ability to use it to communicate effectively. So it really helps with like strategic clarity. For example, for myself, when I'm brainstorming, enhanced memory and context, which is really great. Like I don't have to remember anything anymore just because of the note-taking apps. And it creates way better notes than I would ever take on myself because using AI allows me to be super present in every single meeting that I have. And then speed of execution, like that's the biggest one for myself, is really just knowing how fast I can do things helps like an absolute, absolute ton. So let's put this in full screen mode. There we go. All right. So let's talk about the three platforms. Plaud AI, what is it? So Plaud AI is this, just so you know, this little thing that I'm showing you here. This is a device that captures voice recordings and transcription services that ensures that like no details are lost from any conversation. It's my favorite AI tool out of all of the ones that I've tried, and I've tried about 60 different AI tools. This is my actual favorite one, and it's not fancy, meaning it's not like some video creator, images, all that type of stuff. It's literally just from an effective standpoint, the best note-taking tool and summary tool that's available out there and gives a lot of context. So that's what Plaud AI is. Chat is about creating. So we're going capture, create, and deliver. This is the theme here. Chat is about creating. So like conversational drafting, like strategies, refining communication is what I'm going to show you, like how I use this, the prompts that I use, and I'll give you all this information, of course, as well, post webinar. And then the final one is Manus AI. And Manus AI is interesting because, I was on vacation in January and I was just reading a tech article, and I didn't know what Manus AI was, but in this tech article, it said, hey, Meta buys Manus AI for $4 billion, right? And I was like, interesting. I've never heard of this. And a lot of people that I have connected with on AI have actually never brought it up. Maybe I should look into this thing. So I went and just downloaded it. And of course, if Meta bought something for $4 billion, it's probably pretty awesome. And it was absolutely incredible. Um, so I'm going to walk you guys through that and how I'm using it and how you can use it too. Um, and then the next thing like that we want to focus on is that like how do we integrate all these things together? Like how do we make this actually work for us? So I'm going to start with Plaud first and walk you through like how exactly am I using it? How can you use it? What do you do? I'm going to share my screen, give you some examples of what it looks like while you're using it, as well as post use and how we're delivering that information to individuals, specifically clients. So here's exactly what Plaud is. Okay. It is like a hardware software integration that captures, transcribes, and but the analyzation of the conversations is really what's so incredible about it. So you can capture like really high quality audio, and this works even if you're in, let's say you're at a seminar. You can actually like press a button on this Plaud AI device, recording device, and it will record like the whole seminar. And you can it will take all the notes, everything that was learned from it, and you can actually take that and put it into outlines, for example, with really, really great notes. Now, what I'm using this for specifically is with clients for the most part. I think I have over 400 plus client appointments in the last year that I've used this to summarize all of the notes for my client, deliver them with really great information post meeting of every single thing that we discussed. And it also creates next steps and actions for anyone who's involved in the meeting. And what's really cool too is that it identifies like who the speakers are. So it'll identify you as a speaker with your name. And then if you have like the individual, if we're using it from on a phone call, for example, if you have that individual saved in your phone, it'll also identify that person as by their name through the notes. So it says like who says what. And it's really, really, really incredible, especially if you want to look good in your client's eyes from I'm paying attention, I don't miss any details. Uh, it's really impressive to them. Okay, so here's some best practices that I'm just going to walk you through, and then I'm going to share my screen and show you like what it actually looks like when I'm using it. So um, the first thing is it. I put this in here, obtain explicit consent, and I just want to go over this real quick because when I've taught this in the past, a lot of people get weird sometimes, or a question that I get, or that you might be thinking or asking is, hey, we're recording people. Like, isn't that weird? Like, do we have to tell them? I tell every single person when we get on a phone call, hey, is it okay if I record this call so I can use a note taking transcription device and get you all the notes from our meeting right after? And I've never had anyone say no. So don't be afraid just to tell people and ask, right, for consent that, hey, I'm going to use this AI Nate token. So it's right here. I put a simple script like I'm recording so I can focus fully on our conversation rather than taking notes. Is that okay with you? No one has said no. Okay, everyone's going to say yes. So I always ask for consent. And I think that's really, really important for all of us to do. That way, people don't feel weird when you send them like a summary afterwards that obviously is from a transcription device. Okay, so always make sure that we're asking for consent from everyone when you're using any type of recording device, and don't be afraid to ask it. Okay, like the second, like best practice is tagging and categorizing immediately. So within this device, and I'm going to show you here very shortly what it looks like on the back end. Like you can create different buckets. So for example, I have client meeting folder, right? And you can tag that immediately. So here's all the client meetings. I have one that is presentations, right? So any presentations that I went to, you can have one, and then you can organize all that information. So you can literally include tags in there using hashtags to search for a search feature as well for any type of content that you have saved in there, and it's really, really easy to find. Okay. The third thing is review and refine summaries. So, the AI summaries are 90% accurate. So I'm going to say that again. They're 90% accurate. They're not 100% accurate. So I have to go in there, and you should go in there on any type of AI that you're using and make sure that you're reviewing whatever the output is. It's the number one mistake that I see people make in our space and outside of our space is they just copy and paste anything that they put into AI and then they send it away. It's usually some mistakes in there, some editing that has to be done, and you have to bring your own voice to the situation as well. So making sure that you verify like all the technical terms if you're going to use this type of AI capturing tool, and especially with the action items like before you're sharing them with the client is really, really important. Okay, and then integration with the CRM. So you can literally integrate if you have a CRM like Salesforce or HubSpot, et cetera, like you can actually integrate this with your CRM to sync directly to whatever it is that you were using, and it can sync to the client contact directly, which is absolutely incredible. So let's just walk through what it looks like on the back end. And here are some real life situations that I'm using this for. Okay, so I'm using like real world client communication scenarios, and I'm going to show you what this looks like right now. Like a discovery call is really the biggest one that I'm using it for. So anytime that any of you have a new client meeting, whether it's in person, because this recording device works in person as well as over the phone, it also works even on Zoom. Like right now, I could be recording all of this through this, and it would actually work the same way. Um, so let's go through like what it looks like on a client discovery call. Okay, that way everyone can get an idea of how this like looks and works in reality. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to give you a great example of what it looks like. All right, so this was a consultation that I did just 2 days ago. Okay, and you can see here like it has a full transcript, it has highlights, and then it has a full summary. So this full summary captures. This is automatically generated a full summary of all the conversation of what this individual is looking for, what they're looking to do, what their pain. It identifies what the pain points are, where they want their monthly payments, what the expectations are, other information that was shared. And then it also creates a to-do list, which I absolutely love. Okay. So you go from this, and what's so cool about this is that you can simply like just click, copy, and export, and you can send this directly to the client. So if we want to look really, really professional, and I do this for every single client, as soon as we're done with any meeting, I simply just send them via text and email, okay, via text and email, a copy, right? I also send this to my realtor partners. So if you referred me a client, I can send you a copy of the whole overview of exactly what it looks like, what our conversation was. Um, it provides a lot of insight to the referral partners as well, as far as maybe, where the client's head's at, et cetera. But every single time I send these to a client, they're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Thank you so much for being so detailed. Sometimes I get the question, what is this? Like, I need to get my hands on this and use this in my life as well. So if you really want to stand out, this is a really easy way to stand out. I said this earlier, and I'm going to say it again because it's worth repeating. You can be fully present in all of your meetings if you simply use this device. So when we take notes, okay, like if I was taking notes right now and I'm writing stuff down, it's great because taking notes anchors what you're learning, but you miss things because your brain is thinking while you're writing. Like now that we have these devices and AI capabilities, we literally can just go ahead and take this information, be fully present, not have to think about what someone said or write down a highlight. It captures it all for us, and it allows you to be fully 100% present in all of your meetings. It allows you to ask better questions because you're fully present in your meetings. And of course, it makes you look great because you can go ahead and send it to them afterwards with incredible detail as well. So, like, that's an example just of what a deliverable looks like from a client standpoint. After you have recorded the transcription, you just literally click one button that says AI generate, and you're literally on your way, and you have absolutely incredible notes. One thing that is also really important to note on this is that all of these notes are stored in the website on the back end. So it's all stored for you. And from an organizational standpoint, as you can see here, going to share my screen again. So right here, I have like brainstorming folder, client meetings. There's 428 different meetings that I've done over the last year that are all stored in here. Coaching notes, presentations. It's really, really easy to search and find everything just by using these really simple folders. So that's like the basic overview of it. It's so simple. Plaud.ai. It's the number one AI tool that I'm using for client communication and really being able to stand out, um, in a crowded, like noisy space with other people. So a question that I got that just came in was like, hey, so when you first started using this, like, was it really hard to learn? That was a question that was just sent over to me. No, it's so easy. I swear, I promise, I promise. I am not like a super techie person, and that is the truth. But literally, all you do is you buy this and it's like 170 bucks or something like that. And I think I pay $7 a month. So think about for $7 a month, having an incredible assistant that's taking notes for you, organizing it, and then sending it to the client. It's so easy. You just press one button, that's it. I swear. That's literally all you have to do. So great question. Now, the next thing that I want to make sure I go over is that people understanding exactly how um, Chat GPT comes into play. So I'm going to transition into chat. I'm going to come back and summarize all of this because these things work together. I'm going to show you how I'm using all three of these together to create like some incredible, incredible stuff. So here's the thing about chat. Okay. Most of us use chat in a way that is really lazy. Okay. Like really, really lazy. So ChatGPT can transform like how you draft things, which I really like the writing capabilities in it, and like how you think and how you respond. So here are four primary ways that I'm using chat in order to be effective and efficient in my day to day. One is drafting and editing, right? So generating emails, proposals, and reports like literally in seconds. We can adjust the tone, from formal to casual. You can literally just tweak it. And I'm going to show you how to make these prompts that are really, really cool, so that you can have projects that you can just plop in an email to. Side note, how many of you are typing emails still? I'm curious. Typing. I know it sounds silly. We type emails. I will tell you though, one of the biggest time savers that I have implemented both in email and using Chat GPT specifically is I just talk now into it. I just say everything that I want to say in the email, but just get all my thoughts out. And then I press a button, like take these thoughts and format it into a cohesive, polished email, for example, and then it just does it. So I'm not even really typing anymore, which is bad for my spelling, by the way. It just keeps getting worse and worse. Total side note, but making sure you're utilizing like voice really helps because it not only catches all of your thoughts and then organizes them into actual text that's easy to digest. It actually tracks and learns the way you talk and think, your personality. And that's what really important when you're drafting emails is if you use the speak to text feature, it's going to learn your tone, your intonation, things that you say all the time, how you think and format so that it will always sound just like you. It won't sound like some fake, AI created email. Okay. So that's really important. So drafting and editing, I use it for strategic planning a lot. So this would be like brainstorming with client engagement strategies, like meeting agendas, and negotiation tactics. Information synthesis, what is that? So I use this a lot for meeting recaps. Like whenever I'm in a meeting, I'm going to show you like how I use Plaud from a meeting, and then I put it into chat for a meeting recap with that transcript. And then you can create an email from that, like that is generated, that is super, super dialed in and awesome. So that's how I'm using it for information synthesis, right? Just like key insights from reports, tax returns on my side, for example, like it can actually read all the stuff like an underwriter, which is crazy. And you can really like simplify like complex technical concepts and simplify them down very easily. Role-playing simulator. This is great for all of us in this space. I have created a role-playing chatbot where it will role play with me back and forth on scenarios. So you talk about a really easy way to maybe you're going to have a difficult conversation with someone and you want to like run through some, how do you think it's going to go? You can create a role-playing simulator and practice really difficult conversations with like a skeptical client, for example, or someone wants to know like why they should pay you, a 6% listing fee instead of a 4% with someone else. You can actually role play all of these scenarios in chat, and it will talk to you back and forth. And I found that extremely, extremely helpful in what I do on a day-to-day basis. So here's some super simple best practices, and I'm going to focus on this right-hand side, the RACE framework. So let's talk about prompting for a second. Prompting is the most important part of using any type of AI. And prompting is just telling it what you want it to do. And this is a really simple framework for how to create your prompts when you're telling it what you want it to do. So you could literally copy and paste this, by the way, and put it into a chat and say, hey, this is the framework that I want you to use for any prompt or anything I tell you to do. So the first one is role. And the role is like, who should Chat GPT act as? So if you're doing a marketing email, for example, an example would be like role. You are a expert, marketing advisor, and I'll show you what it actually looks like. But you want to tell them exactly who you want them to be, right? Exactly who you want them to be. Action, like what specific task do you want it to do? You need to be very specific in the task that you are giving it. And then context, background, info, details, right? And then the expectation is what's the desired format and tone that you're looking for. So I'm going to show you a cheat code right now, okay? And I haven't showed very many people this, but I'm going to show you guys a website. Everyone write this down, this website down. It's called promptcowboy.ai. And I'm going to show it to you. It's right here, okay? Promptcowboy.ai. Now, what is this? Now, this isn't in the presentation deck, but this allows me to use this race framework for prompting without having to be very specific. So I'm going to give you a great example here, okay? So here is like the prompt using the race framework, okay? So what I did here was I'm going to show you my prompt, what mine was first. And where do I find that in here? Well, I'm just going to show you I'll just show you my I'll just do one live because I don't know where it's showing you the end here. But what all I said really here was like, hey, create a build a client appreciation RSVP page. Like that's all I said in my prompt was this basically. And then this is what it created, the actual prompt you want to use, right? So you are an expert front-end web developer creating a single file HTML landing page, right? The page should be fully functional, visually polished, and ready to deploy. Here's the event details, right? Not a holiday party, Sunday, March 29th. And this is all just copy and pasted, but it captured the branding, the RSVP requirements, what I was looking for. And all I did was type in a super simple prompt that said, hey, create a RSVP client appreciation page. Here's the date of my party. Like, this is what time it is. This is where it's at. This is who's going to be there is a taco truck. And then it created this whole prompt for me that then created the asset. So you could take any type of prompt that you want to use, and I would put it in here. So if you're like struggling with like, hey, I don't know what to tell, AI to do in the right way, this website is free, by the way. And you can put anything in here that you want. Like here's an example of a YouTube prompt, right? Is that the context? This is what I actually told um, the prompt cowboy to do. So right here, I just said, I didn't even spell create right. Create a great name for my YouTube video. right? About the Iran conflict and its impact on mortgage rates. Include a title and optimize SEO tags and description for the video. That was what I put in. And as soon as I hit create prompt, this is what it creates. The whole thing, the situation, the task, the objective, the knowledge, the output requirements, the video title. It gave me all the SEO tags. So now I could put this into chat, for example, to create exactly what I was looking for. So promptcowboy.ai is an absolutely incredible tool. I highly, highly, highly recommend that all of you guys use it for anything that you're going to put into chat to use as the prompt. Okay. Now, inside chat, like I'm going to show you guys here. I want to show you like how do you go about like actually using chat correctly? Okay. So I showed you before in Plaud, like that client appointment I had with my client named Megan, who's fantastic. And I showed you what the summary looked like. Well, all I did was you can copy, okay, you can copy the summary. Here was my summary that was in my Plaud. All I did was copy and paste it. And I said, take below summary from my client Megan's meeting with me and draft an email version. So I just pasted this in, all of the content from the Plaud recording summary. And I asked it to create like a really nice email for me. And this is what it generates, right? Literally the most professional email that you could possibly write. This is all without me having to do anything, captured every single piece of information. And now I can deliver this to the client with unbelievable clarity and efficiency. So this is how I'm using the AIs together, right? Now you might be asking like, well, what kind of prompt did you put in? Like this one was really simple. Like this is all I put was take below summary. That's it. That was my prompt. Now, when you are in chat inside your chat GPT, when you can create these projects here. So notice I have one that says email cleanup. That's what I'm in right now. So I use this for emails constantly with clients. Like I will just talk into my microphone and I'll just talk like the email out. Like I'll be like, hey Scott, it was great to meet with you today. Please see below information per our conversation. It looks like you're pre-approved to $750,000 with 10% down. And I'll just say what I want to say in the email and it transcribes it all. And then I copy and paste that and put it into here and it actually creates the email the way I want. Now, what I want to highlight for you is that when you create these project folders right here, when you look in the upper right-hand side, right next to where it says share, there are these three dots. This is where you can put, all of the prompts that you want in here of like, what do you actually want it to do, right? You can actually show, like, take it and say that, hey, I want you to be, the most excellent email writer like on the planet. This is a prompt that you could put. I want you to create polished, clean emails that feel warm, professional, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So you want to put your prompt in there to match the output that you are actually looking for. Okay. So when you are in these projects, like this is my email cleanup, and you click on these three dots, it's going to say project settings. And this is where you tell the project bot like what you want it to do every time. So mine is super simple. It just says polish up emails to be professional, warm, and clear. Elaborate for maximum influence. So this is where in your project settings you can train your chat bots like to create the output exactly what you're looking for. Same thing with marketing images or meeting recaps, right? If I were to show you what does a meeting recap look like in my project settings, this one's long, but it's like take this transcript or summary, create a new summary with key takeaways along with any action items and training for maximum clarity and influence. Highlight all the core messages that Jeremy and others taught. This is how you get really, really, really good feedback. Okay. This is how you get exactly what you're looking for. And it will tell you, like here's an example. Like I just put this in for like a framework. And this is just a meeting recap that I had with some people that work for me. Okay. And I took it and I just copied the summary, put it in here, and then literally just went ahead and it created all of this for me in a complete meeting recap. And then at the bottom, I'm going to show you as I scroll down here, is I said, hey, create a polished email version of this. So now I have the full meeting recap and I have an email done that's deliverable and that looks really professional, that captured every single thing from the meeting. So these are just some really simple ways that you can use chat, as well as with any other device, but to get your thoughts out, to create like great communication, great clarity, exactly in a great warm tone that's influential for all of your clients, referral partners, whoever they may be. Okay. So that's how I'm using chat. I could talk about ChatGPT for like 15 hours because there is so much you can do with it. But that is the primary way that we should all be using this, is just to create great clarity in communication. Okay. So great. So I went through the race framework and the prompts. As I said, always review and personalize it. Like, so you're going to take that and you're going to read it and make sure that it's in your voice, edit it as you see fit, and maintain a prompt library. Okay. This is really important. So anytime you get like a really good output of something that you like, save that prompt, right? So I save all my prompts. If any of you want copies of what prompts I'm using, feel free just to shoot me a message on here, or you can send me an email, and I'm more than happy. I have a whole list of prompts for different reasons. I think I have like 25 different ones. I'm happy just to give them to you. You can use them as you see fit, but I would highly encourage you to play with it yourself and see, like, how do you want to use it, right? Because it will sound exactly like you if you teach it to sound exactly like you. Okay. So ChatGPT in action, like elevating every single client touch point. So these are some things that I've created workflows using chat, like client onboarding, right? So I have created like a super comprehensive packages, frequently asked question documents, onboarding timelines, like as far as like new client, what the roadmap looks like. And you can craft this to every single client specific situation. Okay. Difficult conversations. So you can draft empathetic, solution-oriented messaging for challenging news. This is a prompt. Okay, I'm giving you examples of prompts here, like content personalization. So you can create personalized thought leadership content and market updates for different client segments to maintain a personal touch. So if you are targeting like a first-time homebuyer segment, you could literally create personalized thought leader content and market updates for first-time homebuyers would be the end of the prompt. If you were targeting listings, you would say create personalized thought leadership content and market updates for people wanting to sell their home in 2026. These are the easy, simple little tweaks that we can all use to really increase output and be very specific for different segments with a personal touch. Meeting preparation. This is a really great one. Like, you can upload any type of documents that you want. If you're running a team, for example, and generate like a briefing document with super tailored talking points for like upcoming conversations. And then multilingual communication. This is something that is really, really, really cool. So I had a client that was referred to me about a month ago, and the individuals don't speak great English, like almost no English, right? And that was a huge problem in the past. But I told this agent who referred me, I go, listen, I think I can handle this. Like, tell me their situation. Let's get their documents together. Got their documents together, and then I was able to take my email in English. And just so you know, in chat, you can say transcribe this and create an email in Spanish or in French or enter in whatever language. And it literally gave me the whole email in Spanish. I was able to send that via text message to the client as well as email. And what was so cool is they responded to me, you guys, with a Spanish version and an English version. Like, they use chat the same way. So our clients are using this the same way that we're using it. So if you have any type of, communication with different languages, it's a really, really, really easy way to look incredible for your clients and communicate with them in the way that they want to be communicated to in their language. Okay. I'm going to take a look. Let's see other questions. I answered that one already. Let's see. Let's get some of your guys. You guys have some more questions here. So let's take a look at this before I move on. Okay. All right. Let's see. Prompt library. Yeah, no problem. I will absolutely get you that. Let's see. Can you send me a recording? Absolutely. I'm going to send a recording to everyone of this, so you'll get the full recording. I'm also going to send you the slide deck that I'm sharing as well. That's totally not a problem. Great. So that's that. And then you can use the Q&A button as well. That's where I was answering a lot of them. I see you got a lot of guys using the chat. That's fine too. Okay, here's a question that was sent to me in the Q&A. Okay, so the question is, do you ever feel overwhelmed by AI? You're going through a lot of different scenarios using this for different things. Do you ever feel like you don't know what you're doing? So this is a great question. No, I don't feel overwhelmed by it. Okay. More than anything, I'm curious, right? So if you can stay curious, and then you won't be overwhelmed by it. Just be curious enough to play around in it. Like that's really all I'm doing is I'm playing around inside of it, and that keeps me not feeling overwhelmed. I don't worry too much about like what's the next AI that's coming out. Like I need to know how to use all of them. I just focus on a few things, and then I play with the items and see, do I like using them or do I not like using them? That's all. So don't feel overwhelmed by it at all. I promise you, it is not as difficult as you might think it is. It's not. It's not difficult at all. All you have to do is go in, mess around with it, tell it what you want it to do, and then it will actually do it. So I highly encourage you. Thanks for asking that question. It is not overwhelming at all. Now let's transition to like the third segment, which is Manus AI. And Manus AI is like creates deliverables. Okay, so think web landing pages, think slide decks. Like I created this whole slide deck. I'll give you a great example. So the slide deck that you're looking at right now, like the presentation that I'm going through, I actually created this on Manus AI. Like it created the whole thing for me. Like literally. Like I didn't really do anything actually besides tell it to create this for me based on Plaud.ai, based on ChatGPT and how I use it, and based on Manus and how I use it. And it created this whole thing for me. So I'm using this to create visuals for clients, visuals for Instagram or Facebook. I'm using this to create presentations for people. I'm using it to create landing pages for educational purposes. And I think that Manus AI is my favorite one to use visually for sure. Okay. So what does it actually do? So it does end-to-end task execution. All right. It like unlike tools that just generate text, like Manus AI can actually create entire workflows. It can research, write, and format everything for you based on what you ask it, and then create an actual deliverable for you. It's wild. It has a super wide research capability, which is why I like it so much. So when you enter in like a research question in it to create something for you, it literally deploys hundreds of different AI agents parallel at the same time to research clients, industries, competitors, synthesizing findings, and it creates like really comprehensive reports. So that sounds complicated, but it's not when I show you, I promise. Professional presentations, and this is where I think we can all crush it, is using this technology for professional presentations. The quality that it creates is absolutely stunning. Like it's unbelievable. So think about you used to pay lots of money for like website development. I'm going to show you some stuff that's going to blow your mind on this. That you can create full blown like A+ websites, landing pages, right? Literally in minutes. And it looks like you paid a Fortune 500 design company to actually make it for you. Okay. So this full stack web app, that's what I was talking about with landing pages. I'll show you that in a second. You can create funnels through this. That's a whole nother like presentation on itself. If you guys are ever interested in learning how to create funnels for leads, landing pages, send me a note. I'm more than happy to do that with you one-on-one. Here, let's go through some best practices, and then I will actually show you what it looks like and how I use it. So here are 5 best practices. Number one is that provide detailed, specific briefs. So the more context you can give about the client, the audience, the purpose, your desired outcome, like the more targeted and useful the output will be. Like leverage templates and examples. So if you have a template of anything that you like, you can actually upload it into Manus and say, hey, like, check out this website. I really like this website. Use it as a template, for example. I like how it looks. I like how it's set up. And it will actually take that and then create the deliverable for you. So you can guide your AI to your preferred style just by giving it some information. All right. Use wide research for competitive intelligence. Deploy research before any major meeting. You can gather comprehensive intelligence on the client's landscape, trends, things they're dealing with. This is great for buyers, sellers, anyone in the market. You can actually do a really, really deep dive on what's happening in their specific zip code, for example, right? What's the trend in home prices in this zip code specifically, or this type of home specifically? And it will create all the research output. And then you can create slides from that or presentation materials from that literally in just in minutes. Okay. You can treat the first output as a strong draft. So if you get like some output and you're like, oh, this looks really great, but you can refine it until it like dive deeper on point four, for example, and then it will create a new slide and dive deeper with more explanation on point four. And then you can combine all of this, of course, with your human expertise, right? So it excels at structure and drafting, but when you add in your expertise into things, that's what adds the strategic insight and relationship context that makes deliverables really compelling and people pay attention to. All right. So here is in action from research to polished deliverables. Okay. So client pitch preparation, right? So use wide research, and this is a drop down in there, to compile a comprehensive briefing on a prospective client, business model, news, etc. Right? Really, really easy. Then generate you a tailored pitch deck all in one workflow just by saying it, create a pitch deck from this. Custom client portals. I'm doing this, and I'm going to show you here in just 2 seconds what it looks like. This has been a game changer for me, right? To create like sites that you can send clients directly to for information, right? So rather than them having to search through a huge long web page on your website, or they can literally, you can just send them a link specifically for this topic. It's really, really incredible. I've had a lot of success with it in the last month or so, using it and doing it. Thought leadership content. Like you can research like emerging industry trends, like in real estate, for example, and it will go across dozens of different sources and produce like a polished article or white paper. And I'm going to show you right now an example of this where I took the conflict, the US-Iran conflict, and I used Manus AI to create one of these polished like article slash editorial, looking sites where I'm sending people to. So let's see what it actually looks like. Okay. This is what Manus looks like on the inside. And I'm going to show you examples of like what I've used this for. So this is an example of the Iran conflict that I was talking about with you. Okay. So this is how it started. And all I said was, take these notes. So these are my notes right here. Okay. This is just me talking, by the way. And it's an email. I just talked to myself about what was going on with the Iran-US conflict, how this has impacted mortgage rates. And I just like like brain dumped on it and put it into an email that wasn't polished or anything at all. And I just copy and pasted that. And my prompt here is take these notes and create a simple 5 slide deck with all the key points. Change the interest rate, dimension, rise from 6.25, 5.9 to 6.3, because this is more accurate. So that's once again me adding my expertise as to what has happened versus what is being said just in the news, in the media. So this is what it created. It created all this outline, and it did this literally in minutes. Okay. It created a whole pitch deck for me with all the information that I fed it after it researched everything in the market, like what's going on. And then it actually created the finished product, which looks like this. Okay, so this allowed me to have something where I could record a video, which I did, right? I recorded a YouTube video using these slides and going through every single bullet point as to what happened, right? I posted this on YouTube and, it got like 500 views just in the first 24 hours without me doing anything. It was pretty incredible. But this shows you how high quality this AI is and what it delivers. So this, I can download this into a PDF, Google Docs, save to your Google Drive, PowerPoint. You can just click a button and create, save this presentation any way that you want to. Okay. So that was the first step that I took. So this is an example of it creating slide decks for you. Like if you want to create content, you can take these individually, by the way, and save them to use on social media. You can use this for so many different things. Now, after I did that, here's the next thing that I did. Okay, is I told it, right, that I want to create a web page version, right? I'll convert this presentation into a single page scrolling website for you. This will allow for seamless reading experience and market analysis. So I like this editorial broad sheet design. So this is something good for all of you guys to know in your content. If we want to like be the expert or be the news. Maybe you've heard that before. Hey, be the news, right? Be the media. Use this prompt like editorial broadsheet design, right? This will create stuff for you that literally looks like the Wall Street Journal actually made it. So let's look at what the final product is on me telling it to create this landing page. Okay. So this is a landing page I've been using and sending to my clients when they're like, I don't understand, like rates were at 5.9% and now you're telling me it's 6.625 because it went from 6.3 to 6.5 to 6.625. This all happened like in the last week, right? So, which is not great, by the way, but it is what it is. So I would rather be the news and tell people like what it actually is and what is actually going on. So this is what it looks like. Let's open this up here. This is the finished product. And all of you can create this. You can create as many of these single landing pages that you want. It's all hosted on the Manus space, so you don't need to buy domains. You don't need to do any of that. But this was the final product that it put out. Market analysis, March 2026, the Iran conflict and interest rate impact, right? Following the recent military strikes, their financial markets are experiencing significant volatility, pushing mortgage rates sharply higher, right? Mortgage rates spike in a single day. It gives all this information, everything that was in the slide deck, all the research that it did, and it just creates a really pretty single site that you can use in your business and send to clients. So I want to give you guys an example. I'm going to pause for a second before I show you the rest of this site. Think about it like this. We ask ourselves all the time, like, gosh, I have to make another new marketing email, or like, what am I going to talk about, or blah, blah, blah. This is the easiest way to go in and create something that's really valuable, really timely, visually stunning, positions you as the expert in a simple email that you could send to your sphere of influence, cold leads, warm leads, past clients, future clients, whoever you want to send it to on your email list. You could send a simple email that says, hey, here's a market update, right? With what's going on in the market right now, especially with the Iran-US conflict, how that's impacting real estate. Here's a really simple link. Just click on the link, go ahead and read through it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. Right. Super easy, but that's the power of using this and positioning yourself as an expert. So here's what the rest of it looks like. Okay. So you can see oil price, shocks fuel, inflation fears. Here, this is why the market's moving. And what I love about this is that when you tell someone something, there's going to be a certain segment of the population that's always going to be a skeptic, right? Oh, they're telling me this because they want to sell me something. They want to sell my house, or they want me to make an offer on this house, or whatever, right? There's always going to be a segment of the population that feels that way. What I have found, though, by using assets like this and giving it to clients, is that it takes you out of it. And now they're just reading something and they don't associate it with you trying to get them to do something, because we're not trying to get them to do something anyway. They're going to do whatever they want. But it takes that bias, that skeptic bias out of play. And they're just reading like a professional editorial, third party, because this was all researched by third parties, not just me, right? It was researched across 50 different AI agents that went out and looked at MarketWatch and CNBC and all these different websites, Reddit, and it compiled all this for me, and which you'll see down here at the bottom. So this is what it looks like. It summarizes the key takeaways here, right, as to what's going on. And then down here, the sources, okay? So it actually shows where they got all of the information from, right? Franklin Templeton, Fidelity Investments, right? Innovative Mortgage Brokers, Reuters, MarketWatch, Reddit. Like, so it literally goes and shows that, like, I didn't make this as a propaganda piece. And skeptics love when they can see where did the information come from. So this is a really easy way that you guys can create some super simple, really high impact collateral, whether it is for Instagram, whether it's for clients that you want to send like a newsletter to. You can create any type of deliverable asset here that will work really, really well for you. So let's go ahead and go back here. Here we go. So I already went through how the integrations work, like on how I'm using Plaud, and then I'm using Chat, and then I'm using Manus AI. A really super power move, which is like kind of next level outside of basic, is taking like a recording, for example, from Plaud, take that transcript, put it into ChatGPT to create an outline, and then take that and put it into Manus to create the visuals. So that's how the three-step super process can actually work for you and create some unbelievable content for you to use. Okay. So I want, you don't have to be like a superstar person, like to understand like how to do this, but I'm just going to share 7 best practices with you. And then if there's any questions, I can, answer any questions as far as Q&A. And I can show you guys how to build anything you want to. So here's the 7 best practices, right? Is that always maintain human oversight. I went over that earlier. Like AI is powerful, but make sure that you are always managing it, okay? That you're looking at it. Be transparent about your AI use. Like when appropriate, like let your clients know that you're using AI tools. Like they really appreciate it. And transparency builds trust and it positions you as innovative. So they will look at you differently in a good way, as long as you are transparent about it. Protect client confidentiality. So understand data handling policies. This just is a CYA, cover your ass, right? Make sure that like you're always protecting confidentiality. Invest in prompt engineering. Like went through that earlier. Make sure you have a list of prompts that you're always adding to. That way you can have like a master list and use it for different scenarios. Number 5 here is really, really important. Like start with low stakes tasks. So build confidence in your AI use, like use it for internal communications at first or drafts before you start really deploying it out. If you're nervous about it, this is how you practice, right? Low stakes stuff. Don't go for the crazy thing that you wanted to create the first time. Get used to using it in simple things like email polish up. That's where I started, right? I just created a project called email cleanup in my chat. And I just used that for like a week to see like, how does this work? And is it working the way that I like it? And it got me really comfortable using it in a really low stake environment. You want to measure and iterate. So like track your time savings. I have an average time savings of about 3 hours a week right now, just from using these 3 tools. 3 hours a week minimum, by the way. When it comes to creating presentations like the Manus AI I shared with you, it would take me like 3 hours to make a slide deck before for one slide deck. Now that same slide deck looks way better, has better information, and I'm creating it in 3 minutes. So that's a huge time savings right there, especially if you're creating any type of content. And then just always make sure you're staying current, right? AI capabilities are always evolving. Like just dedicate some time each month in your calendar to read about new features, best practices, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to send this all to you, but I created a whole 90-day implementation roadmap for you on what to do through days 1 through 30, 31 through 60, and 61 through 90. And if you follow this, I promise you, you will be an expert. You will be an expert after 90 days. It is not, you 100% will. It won't even take 90 days. I did all this in 30 days. Like it's not difficult, but I created this roadmap. I'll send this out to you on how you can actually execute the roadmap with great detail. If you guys have questions on it, you can just let me know. Um, and I'll leave you with this, right? Like the future belongs to AI augmented communicators, right? So AI is not going to replace us, it's going to enhance us. So what I want everyone to do and just commit to is just choose one of the platforms that we talked about today, like sign up for one of them, like and complete your first task this week, and then share that with me. I would love to know, what did you implement? How did you feel about it? Like, was it good, bad, indifferent, etc.? And the best way to learn AI is just by using it. Okay. So um, that's what I got for everyone today. I have a few more minutes. I'm going to go in and see if there's any more questions. Let's see. Here was a question. All right. All right. Let's see. Thank you so much, man. Superb. I appreciate it. No question. Just want to thank you for your generous heart. Oh, well, thank you. Cool. So there was no question. Hey, I appreciate you too, Greg. Thank you so much, like, for being here. So does anyone else have any questions? You can raise your hand. You can put it in the Q&A section. You can tap it in the chat. I'll stay on for a couple more minutes. If anyone wants to see any scenarios or anything like that, more than happy to answer it. So here's one that came in. Okay. So Andrew, you said, what level of Manus subscription are you using? That's a good, that's a good question. I don't know. I should go in and look at it. I know I pay $40 a month. Okay. So that's the level that I'm using. Whatever the $40 a month one is the one that I picked and that I'm using. So it's that one. Okay. Let's see here. Corey asked me, like, do you set up a lead capture for these landing pages? Great question. Yes, you can fully set up lead capture in the landing pages. Okay. So for those of you that might be listening to this, if you don't know, or if you have never done lead capture, you can create like a form where someone could fill out like for more information, and then they enter in their name, email, and we'll send them a copy of a newsletter, right? So yeah, you can integrate any type of lead capture and funnel in any of these. I personally have only done that with one creation that I've made, and I'm testing it right now, so I don't have any specific results to share. But I'm using it for more of just expert content that's being put out there. I will transition to lead capture for sure here over the next 30 days. This is a really good question though, but you can also integrate this. If you have any website that currently exists for lead capture, you can point these websites and they can be hosted on your current website if you want. These could just be pages on your website that can have that capture information as well. So yeah, you like to capture people's email and or phone number. Absolutely. Yeah, you can do that through this. Okay. So awesome, guys. Well, listen, I super appreciate everyone being on here. I'm going to keep doing these type of webinars. If you want to learn more about this, like, just let me know. Reach out to me directly. If you want to do some one-on-one, I'm happy to do some in-depth training or take your examples, show you how to actually do it. I love this. It has reinvigorated me in a lot of ways when it comes to creation, and I'm more than happy to be a resource to you. So, oh, there's one more here. Let's see. Can you edit the content in the actual slide decks? This is a great question. So you referenced like a Google's Notebook LM. Yes, you can. So in Manus, you can go in and edit it. And I will just show it to you for the purpose of answering the question. Is what this individual is asking. I think this is Mike. Yeah, Mike is asking like, hey, can you actually edit these slide decks? You 100% can. So let me show you. All right, so here is an example, right, of the slide deck that was created, like right here. And here's what's so cool about it. Like, look at, see how it's all boxed? Like I can click on it. See, I can delete, I can add things, I can do whatever. You can edit directly in here, whatever you want, if you want to change any of the information. Okay. So that was a really, really great question. Yes, that's why I like it so much, is that you can go in and edit anything. Like it saves it all, it hosts it in there, it doesn't lose any of the information, and you can update it as often or as not as often as you'd like. So, hey, thanks everyone for all the kind words. I super, super appreciate it. I hope you have an incredible weekend, rest of your month, etc. If you need anything from me, just send me an email. I'll be more than happy to schedule some time with you. And AI till you die. Take care.